Everybody's good. All right. Brings up. Don't let it go.
Hello, can you hear me? Okay. It's almost 1:15 and we will be starting in just a second, so if everybody will come to order. And greetings to those of you watching online and those of you present. This is the 2024 annual meeting of the Indiana Genealogical Society Incorporated. I am Kurt Sylvester, the current president, and I call this meeting to order. As we go through today, those of you who are presenting have your order in front of you, and so we will not be introducing each person individually. When the person in front of you finishes their presentation, you come up, introduce yourself, give your position, and make your report. The first report that is before us is to approve the minutes of the last annual conference. Those were posted on the IGS website, and so I need a motion for approval.
I make that motion.
Okay, Don Adams, okay. And second is L.A. Clue, okay. Are there any questions or discussions on those minutes? Okay. Are you ready to vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And just for informational purposes, some of you might wonder, do the ayes usually win? And the idea is that normally they do because the ayes are over the nose. All right. Just want to get that bad one in for today. So now we're going to start with everyone following in order.
I am Sue Caldwell, and I'm chairman of the Finance Committee. This was the year of preparing for the website. That was all of our thinking was geared toward getting the finances for a very expensive project. And Rhonda Stouffer applied for and received a grant for $16,000 from the Indiana Historical Society, which has been a wonderful gift. We've spent $14,400 so far. The rest of it we'll get when we complete this phase of the project. And then we had to collect some matching funds from membership, which we were able to do. Our annual conference was 23 was priced to be a profitable conference. Sometimes we went way over our expenses in the past, and this time we kept them in line. We eliminated grants for last year, but we put $2,000 in a budget for this year for the grants, which we'll give out in a bit. Several of our awards we reduced to a certificate-only award instead of having a financial award attached to it. And one of the awards, we actually just simply reduced the amount we were given with it. Kurt Sylvester and Susan Hyder moved our CDs and our accounts to another bank in order to take advantage of significantly higher rates. And so we came through the year in wonderful financial shape. And it's great that the website is going through at a much lower cost than we ever anticipated. And I'd also like to say a thank you to Susan Hyder for the excellent financial reports that she prepares for us every year. Thank you all.
Yes, you get to see me again. I'm Kurt Witcher. I'm the current chair of the Seminar Conference Committee. I'm happy to report that this conference will be well into the black. We did not engage in any frivolous spending, as Sue just articulated, might maybe have happened in the past. We have over 180 attendees. I pause on the word attendees because I know you're tired of the phrase, but the phrase that pays is the new normal. And I think we need to get used to it. We need to embrace it, and we need to figure out how to leverage it. The new normal is it will be a while, if ever, where we will have the same numbers in person as we had before the pandemic. If we do have the same numbers as we had before the pandemic, it will be a much different looking experience, right? Because people moving forward have different kinds of expectations, right? As I mentioned earlier today, the pandemic impacted all of our lives in different ways. So 180, that's pretty great, right? We'd be over the moon if it was like pre-pandemic, all in person. But we have 3 different types of attendees, all really important. There are people that are here, and it's wonderful to see people here on all kinds of levels. It's wonderful for people to be in the Allen County Public Library. It's wonderful for people to be in Genealogy Center. It's wonderful for our members and those interested in what the society has to offer to be together, sharing and learning and networking. We also have a new crowd. Some of them are part of the old crowd. Some of them are a brand new crowd. And those people, those are the people who want to enjoy us and join with us virtually. If we do things well, that number will continue to grow arguably faster than the in-person. And I think we should embrace that. We shouldn't abandon any group or any type of attendee, but we should take advantage of the great presenters, the great things the society has to offer, and make those more available virtually. And as Rhonda has done with the website, create a good vehicle for people to engage with us. And then there's a third group, people who have paid for the conference and are not able to attend it because it doesn't fit into their schedule, but they'll be able to access the recordings through a special link, and all of you will as well, through a special link for a limited amount of time. That's the new conference model. It's not just show up on the day, enjoy, go see exhibitors, go hear lessons, and boom, you're done at the end of the day. So it's a different kind of conference. So I don't want to elongate the meeting too much longer, but just to say we had over 180 people attend this conference in 3 different ways. And we're going to try to leverage all of those interests and all of those people so that they can advantage and enjoy what the Indiana Genealogical Society has to offer. Closing, you'd be disappointed in me. I know you would be if I didn't show this, right? Those of you who were with me yesterday, there's a save the date. It's a Saturday, April 12th, 2005. Right now, but that could change. Right now, it's a single day conference. That could change. There's a little QR code there that you can snap, go to a website and tell us what you like. Tell us like, oh my gosh, don't do another 2-day conference ever again. Or I'll never come back to another one of your conferences if it isn't a 2-day conference, or anything in between. Tell us what you would like and tell us how you've enjoyed or not the presentations. Please fill out the survey. We do take a look at the survey. Thank you so much for attending. If there are any questions about the annual seminar, please send an email to the Indiana Genealogical Society, and I'm sure they will forward it to me. Thank you.
Hello, I am Marlene Polster. I am the co-chair for the county genealogist. First, I'd like to thank Kurt and the committee and everyone for arranging for the county genealogist yesterday. They enjoyed themselves and we got along very well. If you don't know or don't have a county genealogist in your county, go to our website and check it out and check out the criteria and see if that's something you would like to do, or you know somebody that can do that. And then fill out your application and send it in to us. This year, right at this moment, we have 46 ICGs. This year they have answered 14,000 questions. Among them, many of them are librarians, so there's a little more, they get a few more queries than others. In January and March, the survey did go out, and we did receive almost all of them back. So that's where we stand for the county genealogist at this year. Just all I can say is please take a look and see if your county's got one and use them. They will help you find your people. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kay Ford. I am the chair of the IGS Membership Committee. At the end of 2022, we had 648 members. At the end of 2023, we had 677 members, a gain of 29 people. The first quarter of 2023, we had 206 new and renewing members. In the first quarter of this year, we have 218 new and renewing members. So there is an upward trend. This committee would like to thank those who became 20-year members in honor of the 35-year anniversary of IGS. IGS greatly appreciates your support and investment. As a note, a new membership platform will be rolling out when the new website goes live. So watch for an email regarding this, as well as tutorials on both the IGS Facebook page and our YouTube channel. On your agenda there, the next is a legislative report. There is no legislative report. So we're moving on to the Publications Committee, of which I am the chair. This committee would like to thank those who have submitted content for the Indiana Genealogist and the IGS newsletter. We are always in need of content, so please keep writing and sharing. In 2023, this committee recommended to the IGS board 2 articles worthy of the IGS Genealogy Writing Award, formerly known as the Elaine Spires Smith Family History Writing Award, one from each publication. And the IGS board graciously approved having 2 award winners. From the Indiana Genealogist, the autumn 2023 edition, the article is titled The American Adventures of Claude Joseph Aubry. This is by Francois Neef of Grenoble, France. The committee commented that this is a fascinating tale of a Frenchman who was determined to make Fort Wayne, Indiana, his home, immigrating from France in 1845. He made his way to Allen County, Indiana, married, and began working toward his ultimate goal of becoming a Hoosier winemaker. The author details Claude's journey with many interesting details. Francois is unable to be here today, so we will be sending his certificate to him. And yesterday, for those of you who weren't here, we awarded the second award to Anita Watts-Kopetsky for her article, Free Genealogy Websites, in the February 2023 edition of the IGS newsletter. This article is very helpful to someone new to researching their family history and looking for economical ways of doing so. A variety of free websites is shared with information about each. So congratulations to the IGS Genealogy Writing Award winners.
Hello, I'm Rhonda Stouffer. I'm chair of the website committee, which you've been hearing a lot these last 2 days about the website. Last year, I reported that the website was very outdated. and we needed to create a new site. And I'm happy to report that we were able to hire some great developers to create the new site and create an integrated database for the new site. The developers, the site's progressing well, and our developers are finishing up their last things on their contracts. So we're getting very close to being done with the website, or so that we can launch. I'm not going to go into a lot of details because you're going to hear it now in about an hour. You're going to hear all about the new website. We do not have a firm launch date, but believe we will keep you up to date on the current website, on our social media, in the newsletters. We're right now working to figure out how we're going to roll out the new membership site so that everybody can log on, create their new accounts, transferring everything over from the old system, which never goes smoothly when you're going from one system to a new system. So we will hopefully have it up very soon. And we are still taking donations for the website. It's going to take money to keep it up. If you're interested in donating, it would be greatly appreciated. And you can do that on the current website. That part is still functioning. Some of the other parts are not functioning at the moment. So I'm just happy to report that we're moving forward with the website, and very soon you'll be seeing it. So thank you.
And I'm Kay again. I'm the chair of the IGS Nominations and Elections Committee this year. So I'm going to announce the results of the election of the officers and a district director. The positions of Central District Director, corresponding secretary, vice president, and president were up for election. All 4 positions are voting members of the IGS Board of Directors. Voting was open from March 1st through April 15th, with 23% or 159 IGS members voting. As far as the Central District Director, 16 IGS members voted. 22 votes were discounted for coming from outside the Central District. The incumbent, Ron Dara, maintains his position as Central District Director. The corresponding secretary position goes to Elizabeth Hodges. The vice president position goes to incumbent Sue Caldwell. And the new IGS president is Allison DePry Singleton. IGS wishes to thank Janet Mobley and Kurt Sylvester for their service to the society and to congratulate our incoming officers. And as a note, the IGS Nominations and Elections Committee will need a new member, which will be the class of 2027, appointed, because my appointment, the class of 2024, ends at the adjournment of this meeting. Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Donna Adams, and I'm the chairperson for the Library Scholarship. The IGS gives out a scholarship yearly, and it is presented to someone who works at one of the local libraries in the state. And they have to work in the genealogy department more than 20 to 30% of their time or whatever. And the application is on our website. So if you're interested in applying, we would appreciate that. And the application is due on December 31st. So this year, Veronica Ratarzik from the Hancock County Public Library was awarded the scholarship for this year. Veronica, would you like to come up? And Veronica has chosen to take a class from the National Genealogical Society. So not only do you have to, you can use the scholarship to take online classes, or you can actually use it to go to a conference.
Congratulations, Veronica.
Again, I'm Sue Caldwell, Chairman of the Grants Committee. As I reported earlier, we are able to give out $2,000 worth of grants. The first one goes to the Charleston Cemetery Association, and I don't think we have a representative from them here today. So anyways, they are restoring a receiving vault, which was built sometime between 1825 and 1850. It's located about 20 feet away from the grave of Jonathan Jennings, who was the first state governor. So anyways, the doors of this vault area are kind of curved up, a special shape. They have to be, a reproduction has to be made. It'll cost them about $1,500. We're giving them $1,000 for that. Our second grant, Joan Hostetler, there she is. Anyways, Indiana Album has asked for $1,000 toward a major project to create an online database of Marion County building permit applications from 1864 to 1900. So, Joan?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's see.
And you said I could say just a word. You just, I just want to say 1 second. This involves AI, and I'm struggling with making it do table parsing and consistency. And I would love to tap your brains if anybody's done anything like that. Thank you.
Okay, again, I'm Kurt Sylvester, and in this capacity, I'm the chair of the Honors and Awards. And if you are not aware of the Honors and Awards, go on our website and look at there's quite a few different awards and honors that are given. So today we are presenting one, and this is for Distinguished County Genealogical Service Award. And it goes to a person who has transcribed, collated, and indexed records of the Tucker Funeral Home, certifies applications for the Kosciuszko Pioneer Family Certificate Program. She also coordinates the Kosciuszko County Historical Society Cemetery Preservation Project and photographs each stone, records all the information and makes it available on her website, on their website. At the present time, they have over 65,000 photographs. And she coordinates also the Kosciuszko County Historical Society Obituary Project. And on their website, they have over 12,000 obituaries. She was nominated by Faye Myers and Sharon K. Whetstone of our organization. And so at this point, we'd like to present the Distinguished County Genealogical Service Award to Connie Black.
Oh, thank you.
Are you tired of looking at me yet? My check rep? This is my favorite part of the whole thing. I'm Ron Dara, chair of the lineage chair of IGS. And right now we're going to award or induct the new members for our two lineage societies. Our new members, we're going to start with the Civil War Society of Indiana. Our first inductee is member number 156, Connie Jo Jeremiah of Oakton, Virginia. She's honoring her ancestor, James H. Applegate of the 13th Indiana Infantry and Decatur County. Every year we do this, somebody comes up with a document that I've never seen before. I thought I knew it all, you know, but I guess that. What you see here is a death record from a Union Army hospital. This soldier was Applegate was wounded, and he was taken to the hospital, and he died in the hospital. So this is essentially a death certificate, a military death certificate. You won't find these in pension files, probably. You won't find them lots of times in family hands, because it's a hospital. You have to go into the hospital itself, records basically, to find something like this. I don't know, Connie Jo, I don't think is here. She's registered. We will send her certificate to her at home. Our second member inductee is number 156, James Samuelson of Auburn. There's no reason for him not to be here. He's honoring his ancestors, Samuel Samuelson of the 73rd Indiana of Porter County. There again, I got this interesting, this is another one. I had never seen a prisoner of war document like this particular one. Samuelson was captured, and he was incarcerated in a Confederate Civil War POW camp. He was exchanged for a Union Army, a person of the same rank and everything like that. And this is him down here at the bottom. So James Samuelson is here. Yes, I thought so. You meet right here.
Congratulations. Look closer here so you can get in the shot and also the. Oops, hold on. Overexposed.
Cheese.
Our next inductee is number 158, Brenda Snyder of Warsaw. She's honoring her ancestor, John Whistler of the 129th Infantry, Kosciuszko County. This snappy gentleman here is her ancestor, Mr. Whistler, and this is his headstone. That is in North Webster Cemetery. And in line with the fraternal talk and all that before, you'll notice that right in the middle of the two names is his marking of his Union Army operation, okay, unit that he was with. So Brenda, I thought Brenda's not here. Okay, we can't tell the registration between person and Zoom, something like that. So we will send her certificate and medal to her. Inductee number 159 is Kenneth Carr Wright of Charleston, West Virginia. He is honoring three different ancestors of his. First one is August Johann of 25th Infantry, Vanderburgh County. This is some of his. This is one of his military cards. And down at, it's kind of a mystery to me. You might notice this. He was promoted from private to corporal to sergeant, okay? Which sounds like he's a pretty good guy, right? But if you look at the bottom of this, you will find that for some reason, he was sentenced for some offense, it doesn't say what, and he was reduced to ranks and discharged as of where he started. So kind of an interesting thing like that. The second soldier that he's inducting is James Parks Burroughs of the 6th Infantry of Decatur County. This is James Parks Burroughs there. And it looks every year of a Union Army photograph, doesn't it? But there again, lots of facial hair on Union soldiers. And the third person that he is inducting is his ancestor Victor Monroe Carr of the 38th Infantry of Bartholomew County. And here again, this is evidently a new resource that has not been available because two different people came up with this POW form right here. It's another one. He was captured and confined by the Confederates, and he was released, as an exchange, nothing like that. So, Mr. Kenneth Carr Wright, please step right up here. Thank you very much. Inductee number 160 is Jamie Poorman of Marshall, Illinois. Practically a Hoosier. I mean, he's just right across from Terre Haute, right? He's honoring his ancestor, George Salt. I forgot, is Jamie a girl? Oh, yeah. Okay, I was wondering, okay, I should have checked that out, huh? Okay. She is honoring her ancestor, George Suit of the 52nd Infantry of Grant County. In case you're not familiar with, on the left-hand side, this is an application for a military headstone. This is from the 1890s. Okay, that list of things is on Ancestry if you are thinking of looking it up. Okay, what you see on the right-hand side is that same headstone after mucho years and mucho weathering. If you go and try to clean stuff up like that, be careful what you do. I mean, that can be very fragile. So Jamie, please.
Thank you very much.
Okay, member number 161 is Sharon K. Whetstone of Mentone, Indiana. She's honoring her ancestor Samuel Lastly of the 154th Infantry, Tippecanoe County. There's Samuel. Doesn't he look like a Union soldier? Right. And on the right-hand side is the index of pension files for Union Army. You'll notice that he did not receive a pension, but his widow did receive a pension. You can tell from that sentence registration in the middle there. Okay. Sharon. Congratulations, Sharon. Now we're going to shift gears and move into the Territorial Guard Society. In case you're not familiar with it, in order to join the Territorial Guard, you have to prove direct ancestry from someone who lived in what is now the state of Indiana before statehood, okay? Which is a little bit trickier than the Civil War, okay? Which was our intention. And we're glad that people were able to do that. Our first inductee is Bruce Allen Covey of Irmo, South Carolina. If you're not familiar with Irmo, it's a suburb of the state capital of Columbia, South Carolina. Just kind of up the road a little bit, okay? He's honoring his ancestor Samuel Harlan, who was in Fayette County in 1815. It was a pretty easy one for Bruce, since he had already proven that same ancestor was a pioneer of Indiana. And so all the documentation and stuff like that was already proven. So we accept Indiana pioneers if they directly impact, what we're looking for the same way. I do not believe Bruce is here. He was not registered and I know elected. So we will send his certificate to him. We also accept supplemental ancestors. If you come in on one person, for instance, and you later on discover that you have more than one, okay, we would appreciate it if you would apply as a supplemental ancestor and prove that person. We're looking for as many Indiana pioneer ancestors as we can possibly get. This one is a little bit different than most of them. Most of us scratch and dig and sweat it out and really work our butts off trying to get an ancestor proven in some lineage society. That is not the case with Deborah Lovelace. Deborah believes in the bunch theory, or the grapes of wrath theory, for instance. This is what, the third year that you've had ancestors. She's did the same thing for the Civil War group. Last year you had what, eight, I think. So Deborah really has been busy. Okay. These are her latest Territorial Guard inductees. All of these people who were in Gibson or Knox County well before statehood, you can see. And you can probably do this too. If you get one there, their allied families probably can, we're in the same area and proof like that. I especially want to call your attention to the last one here, Frankie Rook. I like that name. If you research a long list of Mary Smiths and Elizabeth Johnsons and people like that, you want to have and you deserve to have an ancestor named Frankie Rook. Okay. There are here's a couple of the documents that Deborah submitted here. There's a fan list. This is a probate file of an auction, or, they sell the effects and things like that. That is a good place to find fan lists. People come and buy stuff from the deceased, stuff like that. There's a land record here on the right-hand side. I would urge you to take a look at the bottom, the little red box there. Neither one of the people were literate because they had to have the name written by somebody else, and then they X'd it and they said, so if you're looking for lots of written records by that person, those people, maybe not. And here's another learning moment. These are two versions of the same marriage record for Frankie Rook and her husband, Charles Martin. Okay. The first one is a scan of the actual document itself in the ledger. The second one on the bottom tells the same information, but it is a secondary thing because this is out of a much later county history. Okay, so if you're a newbie, okay, be aware of primary and secondary sources, because most lineage societies, DAR, whatever, make you really have more than one source. Okay. Deborah? Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations to all of our new inductees. We're waiting for your application. The evaluator is standing by. I may have to turn some of them down because we are rigid in our standards. Okay, so the application deadline for this next round is December 31st of this year. I hope to see stuff from all of you guys. Thank you very much.
Okay. We now come to a time when we want to acknowledge our 35 years, our anniversary. And so just to share a few things with you, Kurt did quite a bit of that overview as the person who was the founder and first, and I think three-time president of the organization. Do you want to take care of it? For those that did not recognize, that was Ron's tech person. Uh, the meeting that was held back in 1988, a dream concept. The history of our society was published in the March 2024 edition of the Indiana Genealogist. Our editor, Jennifer Alford, I think maybe watching online, but I'm borrowing quite a bit from her article and her research to share with you. So if you do not know what that looks like, if you don't happen to be a member, this is the cover that was on that one. And then inside was the article and talked about celebrating the 35th anniversary. So you're not a member, see what you missed, okay? The Indiana Genealogical Society began with a discussion, and so I learned from Ron today that it was in a room upstairs that wasn't finished yet. Kurt said that they were there, but Ron gave a little description of hanging wires and all of that. I think somebody's here from that same library. Is it now finished? Okay. So 35 years later, we have a finished room up there. And hopefully there's a plaque there that said IGS began here. Which if it does, it might be something the organization wants to do. On the 20th of August, 1988, the organizational meeting was held in the Carnegie Room. And those in attendance represented 31 different genealogical societies, libraries, and other organizations. And those are listed in this article. And so I know that there was represented here today, the Northwest organization, which is one of the old ones, and the Allen County Genealogical was there. I don't believe you were representing the Genealogy Society then, but that's okay. They adopted a purpose statement at that time, which was to organize, communicate, coordinate, and perpetuate genealogical societies and material within the concerning Indiana, and to promote the preservation, education, and safeguarding of historical records, books, and memorabilia. So those of you that are presently there, how have you done in 35 years on that? So preservation, education, all of those different things. And I think you, in the earlier part of today's meeting, saw a lot of those awards and things going out for those very things. A steering committee was selected and a chair was selected in the person of Kurt B. Witcher. At that point, the article said that he made sure that letters went out to a lot of different organizations to get them interested in joining. Jennifer's article said that he sent out 1,300 letters. The postage was not as much back then. So I don't know on that financial report how much you had to pay for postage, but not as much as it would be today. But 1,300 letters is still a lot to get people interested. And I think that that's one of the things that you have to realize that for an organization to look good, it takes a lot of behind the scenes work. And that's one of the things I wanted to share today. I've spent my life working in nonprofit organizations. And I talked with one gentleman one time and I said, he was a company, I said, is this a nonprofit organization? He said it is, but it wasn't intended to be. But these are intended to be when the articles of incorporation are stated earlier, you're in Indiana, you're to have a purpose, you're to have to be in service. And that's always a question that I have whenever I'm asked to do consulting is, what is your purpose statement? And I'm amazed at how many organizations say, do we have one? Because over the years, things get lost and people forget what they are. And you ask, well, what does your organization do? I met with one group in another county or another organization, and I said, what is your purpose? And they said, we're not really sure. We just get together once a month here and have coffee and talk. But they still file some kind of a report. And I always kind of wonder what kind of a report are they filing with the Secretary of State. We take very seriously, I think, the role in being a genealogical society. The steering committee then created a constitution and bylaws, and they set up at that time that there would be 5 districts. Eventually that got to 9, and then one time there was 10 for the non-residentials, and now it's back to 9. On the 29th of October, 1988, a general meeting was held of those interested, and the name Indiana Genealogical Society was adopted over other choices such as Huser Genealogical, and I think there was maybe 2 or 3 other names. The bylaws and the standing rules were adopted. Over the years, those got in and out and up and down, and a few years ago, we took a real hard look at our bylaws and articles of incorporation and things and found that they had all been kind of meshed together into one document. And so we took a lot of time and redid that. And now there is a new document that's procedures and document manual, bylaws and standing rules, so that everybody who becomes an officer gets a copy of that, and it pretty well outlines job descriptions, expectations for those roles. The other thing that they did at that meeting was they said what the annual membership dues would be. And it was $20. How many of you who joined this year, how much did you pay? 30. So in 35 years, we have gone up $10. I doubt that you're going to find any other organization that's not had a greater increase on that. And if you look at the buying power 35 years ago, what our fee would be today, I think it's something, it would cost you about a membership of about $75 to have the same buying power. Kurt mentioned earlier that it was good that we were sending out our things electronically, not wasting money on printing and all of that. Our financial report also talked about that. So I think you can look at this organization it has for 35 years, really try to be cost effective, getting, as some people would say, the most bang for the buck. In February of 1989, the first newsletter was published, and the writer of the newsletter was a person by the name of Kurt B. Witcher. The newsletter announced the first IGS conference, and it would be held at the Indiana Convention Center in Indianapolis, and the date was April 21, 22. interesting that this year on our 35th anniversary, we almost got the exact same date, except the calendar wouldn't cooperate Friday and Saturday with that. But we are close. We chose not to be at the Indiana Convention Center, but to come to Mecca. And so here we are. Okay. The first IGS Annual Conference, then held on April the 21st and 22nd at the Convention Center, had the theme Beginnings, a Time of Discovery. What is the theme this year? Is it up there? More to discover. And so you can see that the concept is discovering, beginning, and so there's some sort of consistency there, huh? On that day, they also filled out the forms to give to the Indiana Secretary of State the Articles of Incorporation, and here they are. One of the things that I asked when I became president was, how are we doing at preserving our own documents? Because we say at all other organizations, preserve, and do we preserve our own? And here is your Article of Incorporation. Then later, the society created a quarter named the Indiana Genealogist, with the first editor being Don Slater Putt. So some of you, I think, know Don. And a newsletter was then created, and that first editor was Carol Collins. Are either of those two people here? Okay. In November, the society established its first website. So 1997. And we are going to pretty soon have a report on what happened to that website. But in 2008, they added a searchable database. And so today, I think we kind of take for granted, you know, that you can jump on your computer and search all kinds of stuff. But 16 years ago, IGS moved into the 19th century, 20th century, and had searchable database. Now we're moving into the 21st century, and hopefully we'll stay ahead of the game. Again, when you look at nonprofit organizations, as was mentioned, many of them are going out of business. And there's several reasons, I think. COVID did a great job of destroying an awful lot of organizations. As some of you know, I'm a retired clergy, and some of the consulting I do is with congregations. And I was talking with one minister, and he is online, and we heard the difference between being online and all that. But for all of you who are sitting at home watching something online, there has to be somebody show up to watch. And this clergy was sharing with me an email that he got from a person sitting home and said, we enjoy now sitting home in our pajamas watching worship service, but really frustrated that you don't have a choir anymore. And so asked the clergy, why don't you have a choir? And his response back was, they're all sitting home in their jammies. And so for this organization to go on, it does take people who are showing up and doing jobs. So you saw all the work that Ron does and all the work that Sue does and Kay does. And it does take a lot of work behind the scenes. And if you've ever watched a good movie and you stay and watch the credits roll, or a TV show, you know, and they had 3 or 4 actors out there in front of the camera, and then they'll say, by the way, these are the people that had to be behind the camera to make the 3 in front look good. And so today I'm wanting to really talk about the people behind the camera, the people behind that have worked hard on all those things. The website we will talk more about, as I said, later, because it's kind of humorous for us to now think about that we created a searchable website, and then we discovered that it wasn't too searchable. We learned from our person who is in charge, we call webmaster, that she was running out of money for buying duct tape and baling wire to keep the system working. I don't know if you know that phrase, baling wire, but when I grew up in Southern Indiana, that's where you kept things working. And I moved northern Indiana, they had duct tape and I never, in Southern Indians, we never put tape on our ducks, so I didn't know what that was. But there finally came a job when we decided that we were going to quit kicking the can down the road and make a decision to do something about the website. That was an interesting discussion. It was how are we going to pay for it? What are we going to do? We've filed for some grants, and I'm sure that you're going to hear more about all of that process. But a lot of things go in, and again, when all of you click on when that launches, I want you to all remember that there was a lot of work behind the scenes to make it able for you to push a button. And so just really wanting this to go to 35 years of work behind the scenes in one way or another. In 2006, the society created the concept of Indiana County Genealogists, and you heard about that. A great dream. The concept of having a person in all 92 counties who would be working on that. As we heard, that dream is still not fulfilled. 46 at the present time, and some of those are having some problems. One of the things that I'd hoped in my administration, I brought up, was that we would reinstitute district meetings and do some of those things, but that didn't get approved, so we're not doing that at this point. But to have those 92 county persons feeding into this new website would be a great dream. And so if you're watching and you're in some county that doesn't have one, think about stepping up and looking at on the website what that job description is and become one. But at this point, I just want to say to Marlene, thank you for all the work that you've done. And would you please come forward? Congratulations on receiving this certificate, which thanks you for being in charge of these groups for a long time and all the work that you've done behind the scenes.
Thank you. Thank
Got it? Oh, we did it? Again, it's pretty easy to go on there and say, well, that's nice, there's a county genealogist, but who does all that work? And the goal last night was to honor all those people, and several of those people did show up, made it here. And hopefully in the future, ones that we can have more and more, because I think it's good to everybody get to know one another and share ideas. In 2005, the society established the first lineage society known as the Society of Civil War Families of Indiana. And they couldn't find anyone adequate to take care of it, so they just finally said, well, Ron, can you handle that? Ron didn't expect me to say anything nice about him this morning, so there. And then in 2010, they added the Territorial Guard Society of Indiana. Again, Ron stepped up and has done a great job on that. Both of these lineage societies exist today, and we just saw some of that. And Ron, I would like for you to come up for a minute. I want to interview you. I'm not your tech person, but I'm going to interview you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. When you started the Civil War Society and the Territorial Guard Society, what were your expectations? Have they been met, or how do you see they are today?
The reason I started the Civil War Society is because I think about the previous year, I had been inducted into the Civil War Families of Ohio. Okay, so I was up on all the techniques and resources and things like that. So I thought it was kind of strange that as involved as Indiana was in the Civil War with Governor Morton and all, so many people doing it, we needed to preserve that kind of thing, and we needed to have a place where people could have their ancestors recognized as Union soldiers or sailors.
How about Territorial Guard?
Territorial Guard was sort of an outgrowth. I was aware of the fact that Civil War is pretty easy. You know, it really is. I mean, if you do a lot of lineage work, I'm in the SAR, you know, and that was hard. And I worked on getting my wife into the Colonial Dames and the DAR and stuff. And I thought, well, maybe we needed, you know, we had a lot of talented people. So we needed something that was giving them a little bit more challenge, okay? There weren't that many ancestors in Indiana, you know, before statehood, and proving it would be tricky, except for Deborah over here. So, you know, that's worked out too. I think when Indiana was appointed, they did a census in 1815, and they had 62,000 residents in Indiana Territory, which isn't very much. Okay, so tracing ancestry back into that period can be difficult, I thought, but it's worked out well. A lot of people have found how to do that.
How many people are members of the Civil War Society to this point?
I don't know.
I just want to see if you.
It's on the website. Yeah, the list is on the website, and these inductees will be on the website. You know, maybe the new one, I'm not sure, instead of the old one, but we'll get it on there.
Someplace it'll be there.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I'd like to say of those of you who are present, if you would stand, if you are a member of the Civil War Society. And I can stand on that one too. Okay, congratulations. Thank you. And now to stand if you're a member of the Territorial Guard. And I'm standing on that.
Yeah.
The two of us, okay? Yeah, thank you, Ron. Come here, yeah, Ron.
You said, thank you.
I know, but I didn't mean for you to walk away.
Oh.
She wants to have your picture or something. And I want to thank you too for your service for all these years. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, all right.
Are we done now?
You can go now. You can go. Okay. My goal today is to celebrate all that work that's been done, like I said, behind the scenes, all the people who put all that, and hopefully all of this data, all of these facts that have been discovered will be searchable on that new website. And it will make people who say, wow, look at all what those people did. I was able to find 8 Territorial Guard relatives. And so I think we're in competition there with trying to find those people. But I've discovered some more now, but I don't have the right documentation yet to make it then okay. But there's a lot of very interesting characters that came into Indiana, and so no wonder the Indiana is the interesting state it is. In 2024, the Society is creating a state-of-the-art genealogical website, and so in another 45 minutes, Rhonda will be sharing with you all the excitement of that. But Rhonda, would you come up? I want to thank you for all the work that you have done. Okay.
And have yet to.
Yeah, that's not a diploma. It's just a. Yeah, they wanted to make sure everybody knows that that's not a diploma. She's not done. It's just a work in process certificate. But I think that when we come to the next presentation next hour, you're going to be amazed at what that committee has done and all the work. I don't want to take all of her thing, but I'll just say that we asked around. I called the presidents of a lot of state societies and asked about their websites. Are they happy with them? And if they were, who did them? And what was interesting was most of them said they weren't happy. And we found a few, and then we started to interview those, and we found that they just didn't quite make what we needed. So we finally settled in. Over the past 35 years, the Indiana Genealogical Society has presented the IGS Writing Award, and this year we gave 2 of those. And I think that it's important that we really elevate and encourage people to write articles, because that's where it encourages other people to do the research. Because if they say, "Wow, that's interesting. What if I had a grandpa or somebody that was like that?" We have in our records an electronic database award. Does anybody know, was that ever presented to anyone? It was, okay. But I assume that maybe there might be some openings for some new database entries on the new website. And the interesting thing I will say here is that at one time when we were a wild and young country, anything and everything, it was just everybody did everything. And then we started saying, well, there must be some rules and organization we have to do. Well, I think the same thing we discovered with the website, because at one time, people sent it in all forms. So it was in PDFs and Word and spreadsheets and all that. And so I'm sure that part of her presentation will be, or at least we'll say, there will be directions on how to create and submit so that A and B can talk to each other and be searchable and all that good stuff. We had the Distinguished County Genealogical Service Award, and we had the Outstanding County Genealogical Contribution Award, and we had one of those presented today. Those are all on the website to see what they are, and they're to be to honor people who give their time and service in the local county community work. And out of 92 counties, we don't have that many people wanting to honor the people who work at their libraries or their genealogy societies or historical societies. So there again, I think hopefully with a new website and new communications and stuff, we can do more encouraging. The Fellow of the Indiana Genealogical Society was created, and I know we have a few fellows. So are there any fellows currently here with us? There they are. Okay. So hi fellows, how are you doing? It's okay. We have the Cemetery Restoration Grant and the Resource Development Grant. And the time I've been around, I've seen a lot of grants go out, and we kind of twisted on the Resource Development Grant. Again, I remember a meeting, and then I guess it's in Plainfield, when a character named Ron suggested that we encourage the local counties to do more contributions. And so as a society, we purchased laptop computers and scanners. And how many did we have on that one? How many did you start out with?
Scanners. There were two oversized 11x17s.
And so those were loaned out, and the project, and then there was other projects to different counties, and that was to encourage them to be doing that. And I know that those scanners are now, you've got one in Jasper, I think it's on its way now to someplace else, and you've got one, you had one. So that's still stuff that's behind the scenes that everybody doesn't know it's happening. And I wanted to, say that there's ideas that are floating out there, and new things are happening all the time to make contributions to our overall data collection. And then the Library Staff Education Scholarship, it's been given out. And how many of those have been given out? Do you have any idea?
Gosh. Well, we used to give out 2, and then after COVID, we started out with just 1.
Yeah.
There was 2 there.
Bunch, yeah. So a bunch. And I think that's another How many, is there anybody here that has received a scholarship? I know we had one today, okay, right there, okay. But again, I think that that's an important behind the scenes thing that we see happening. That when you go into a library, we're encouraging them to make genealogy an important part of that library's function and supporting that. Okay, so as we kind of look over the 35 years, there seemed to be some names that kept popping up and being very important. And the one that I think most of us recognized was Kurt B. Witcher. And as the dreamer, the founder, and president. Kurt, would you come up, please?
Right. Here we go. Okay. But this is an appreciation for Kurt as being the founder and first president. I didn't put in the others, but you know, the thing I think is important is we're still here. We've only just begun. Okay. At this point, I was going to ask Kurt to share his reminiscence and what he thought the high points of 35 years was. He may have already done that, but come up and just share anything that you may have forgotten.
Many levels of meta comments, but I think the best thing about the society is you and you online. And truly, we've only just begun. If we embrace the change before us, if we embrace technology, if we embrace learning, like our founding document says, we've only just begun. There's so much more to do. And it's as important as ever to preserve our records, to share information, and to network. All of us make all of us better.
I would now like to ask any other persons who have served as presidents of this organization to come up and join us. Any other state presidents? All right.
Stay on camera.
Yeah, okay. The three musketeers are here.
This way.
Musketeers.
Allison's going this way.
Okay. The directors say get in camera, okay.
Good.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. And while you stay here, I'd at this time like to introduce to you your new state president, Allison Singleton.
So now you're the fourth musketeer. Speak to your audience.
Oh, I get to speak now. Hello, thank you so much. I know I had stiff competition, so I appreciate the votes. Truly, I am honored to be here, and I am honored to be the new president of the Indiana Genealogical Society. I hope to serve the society well and continue the mission that it was founded upon 35 years ago. Thank you.
And with that, the 2024 annual meeting is adjourned, and you have what, a half hour to run upstairs and do research on somebody.
I have a, I think it would be wonderful if I think I tried to do that one. Several times. Well, I'd love to do that. You should just write into it. Okay. Therefore, on. Yeah. I know a lot of them.
Yes, yes. He's sitting on the chair.
Okay.
And he has a medical bag. Had a bracelet, like never met.